The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it. Yes, sir. All right, sports concepts and rationalizations coming your way. We call it the 10-minute drill. We go back and forth on a few things. Because it's the Christmas holiday and we're in the Christmas spirit.
Season of giving, Dan.
Beef has compiled a tremendous prize pack.
I dug deep. I kicked the door down to the prize closet, and I just grabbed a handful of things.
By the way, the big fella will join us at 8 o'clock.
Yes, a bonus breakfast with Pacelli. I'm sure he'll try and take a week off down the road.
So we'll visit with him as well. Beef, at the end of this segment, will announce all the different prizes. It takes too long, quite frankly.
But just know.
Yes.
It's a bonanza.
Yes, it is a bonanza. It's one you'll want to get. And then we have Jag tickets, or have you given those away yet this morning?
We do.
Okay, so later in the program, we'll give away some Jaguar tickets as well for the Colts game, your last chance to see your beloveds before we pack up the footballs for another offseason of voluntary and involuntary stuff.
I'm watching. It's one thing about aging that's so funny, and you also have to be careful of, is how much times and perspectives change. But I'm watching ESPN cover this Coughlin. And you know what it most reminds me of?
What's that?
Woody Hayes punching that player on the sideline.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's almost like Tom Coughlin finding players when he shouldn't. Mm-hmm. It's the same as like punching them out on national TV. Mm-hmm. It just seems like it's treated with the same like egregiousness. But
all right,
maybe not. Anyway, I'll be glad when we have a whole new regime down there. We can talk about the future.
Yes,
and not the current, because the current's bad and the past has been awful.
Is there any way that Doug Marrone and Dave Caldwell are still around after all this? I wouldn't think so, but what do you think?
How?
Yeah.
How? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. You bet. No.
No?
No. Come on.
Black Monday?
It damn well better be. If Shad Khan really wants to win, I mean, come on, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are the best. Tom Coughlin's lightning rod has saved those guys a lot of ranking, I guess, evaluation saved them a little bit. But no, you got to go in. You know what? Look, no. Do you think?
No.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. But
no, you better not. Yeah. You have to know. No, absolutely no.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Just on a side note, movie characters bad month here for some movie characters.
Oh, no.
Well, not the movie characters, but the guys that they played. Remember the Titans' Denzel's role. Herman Boone passed away yesterday, and a couple weeks ago, Radio passed away.
So I saw the radio passing.
Yeah, so two of those guys.
All right, I like the guy, so I'm not going to start a war with him. You know, I don't want this to go like down the Mr. Tennessee path where we can go for weeks and months with little to no respect for each other.
Yes,
but one of the all-time botched reports in the history of this program was perpetrated by your boy, the Ox. An all-timer.
Ox did wave the white flag yesterday.
That's an all-timer. Yes, the momentum for Florida.
Yeah.
And now, look, it's like Florida gets put into the loser category yesterday only because nothing happened. They also kept all their guys. But there were 4 or 5 or 6 guys out there that the kind of the propaganda was that the Gators were either going to flip or get in a coin flip, and they got none of them.
Yeah.
But they're still the 7th recruiting class, but there are some holes in that class. But the biggest hole is now with the reputation of the Ox Guggen, who can no longer be trusted as anything more than just a fanatical recruitnik.
He was excited. He had heard some good things. He went with it. This happens all the time in recruiting. Jeff, if you paid attention to it a little more than one day a year, you would note that, there are guys who do crystal balls. There are guys who do predictions. I will defend him. He made his predictions. He got these wrong.
Best recruiting class ever, he told me, in the history of the school.
He'll have to eat this one, and he will. And
should have dime bet him. Should have.
That's what he does. But yeah, so you can't. The biggest takeaway on the negative side of Florida, and by the way, a couple good things happened for Florida. All right, Dan Mullen changed the way they recruit. We're not going to California 42 times a year anymore. We're staying closer to home.
They had more signees from the state of Florida than any other school.
They got 10 of the top 50 players in the state. They got more four stars in this class than any since 2012. So there's a lot of positive, a lot of momentum. It's hard, and there are a lot of good schools. And Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, LSU, Auburn, and Georgia, all schools ahead of them. I don't know if Georgia does. I don't want to speak out of turn. But for sure, the other 5 have standalone football facilities and unbelievable facilities that
once Florida gets that, this gap could be narrowed.
I think the gap will be narrowed.
Yeah.
Those are some of the positives. The negative is, where's the running back? Where are the receivers? Why aren't they adding to that? He wants 10 on the roster. They're waiting on a receiver. They're not done, obviously.
No,
we have something in
the
February.
Big boys are been snatched.
There's still a lot of big there's still other big boys out there.
Is there a 5-star, 4-star running back that they could out of nowhere flip? That's the position that scares me. The running backs weren't good last year,
And
Dan.
again, though, as you noted, and others have said, Mullen effectively uses the transfer portal maybe as well as anyone in the country.
Well, they had that Texas A&M back we were talking about yesterday.
And maybe that's the route that he will take with that. But so it's hard. I don't know why that. I guess because you get your hopes up. I don't know why the spin on the narrative with Florida is, oh God, when he's done his best class by far.
And he kept everyone, which also is rare.
Yeah.
Usually you'll have 1 or 2 that you thought
you come
had.
in 6, 7, 8 in all the publications, and you're right
that's,
there.
That's good enough talent, by the way, to win.
Correct.
We're negligible here. Alabama's had the number 1 or 2 every year forever, and they didn't even make the playoffs. So
the interesting story, and you hope that Mullen is following this path, and that would be Dabo Swinney, who took over Clemson and had a shaky first year, but after that he's winning now like crazy, and they're all coming like crazy. And he had the number 1 class.
Yeah, and just got another couple
better than Bama,
yesterday.
Better than Ohio State, better than LSU.
There's another one that I wanted to mention.
Mm-hmm.
Give Ohio State credit.
Yeah.
It'd be very easy to write off this success as the holdover from Urban Meyer. So I think it's very important for Ryan Day have an undefeated season, go to the playoff, and now you follow that up with a number 3 recruiting class.
Yeah.
You know, now you're getting some, you're getting some muscle in your back now if you're Ryan.
Eddie O showing some staying power, and then if you're
they were disappointed in LSU too, though. They lost a couple that
it's kid in Maryland that they're scratching their head over.
Yeah.
And then Auburn says, well, wait a minute, don't forget about us. If they're number 5 or 6 in the country, they've had a great recruiting class as well. So, and to me, the one team that that I'm looking for big things from is Texas A&M. They've done the recruiting part. They've had 2 top 10 classes in a row. Michigan and Texas are right there. What about Tom Herman flipping off the Longhorn Network? Was that a joke? What was that? That was kind of funny.
What happened? I missed that.
They took a shot at Herman in the war room, if you will, and he threw double birds up at the camera.
Oh, probably joking.
And it was on live.
Uh-oh. Oops. I'll tell you what else is.
Whoopsies.
I'll tell you what jumps out.
And FSU, they're going to come in, 23, 24. And I love on recruiting day, I go back and forth with my older son, FSU Drew. And he's telling me, because he got excited, they got Chubba, which is a good get for them. They got a
quarterback from like Arizona,
four-star quarterback who ended up going to FSU over Louisville, and they signed 2 quarterbacks. Understand, Willie Taggart didn't sign a quarterback, so
they needed quarterbacks. He got one that from Valdosta that he had been recruiting to Memphis.
That's a huge positive for Florida State, and they got some players.
I think to have a top 25 taking that job like 5 minutes ago, getting 2 quarterbacks, flipping some players, beat down Mullen straight up for a couple of guys Florida was in on.
So my point is, so he's crowing to me on the phone, and he's sending me these recruiting experts are saying, "Oh, Florida disappointing in us something," and FSU's having a special day, and I responded with, you know what special day we're going to have in 2020? November 23rd, okay, when we come over to Tallahassee. That's going to be a special day. Yeah, so run it back a little bit with the boys on that one. So, but anyway, yeah, you got to try to keep them afloat, salvage what you can, and go to work. That's the nature of the beast. So very, very rarely do you again, and he had less time than almost anybody because of when he was hired that Monday before the Wednesday, because we now have early recruiting. So we still have, by the way, one more cycle here in February, and there are a few people with some grade issues that didn't sign. There are a few people who want to wait. There are a few people who were set on one school, took a visit to the other school, and now they're confused. And so those are still to be determined, and we'll see how all that pans out. But, yeah, another recruiting day is come and gone, and Always a lot of interesting moments in that. I'll tell you the big, and I'm glad we're having the big fella on because USC,
Yeah, 7. Signed 7 kids, Dan. Like 85th in recruiting.
It's mind-boggling.
I don't understand it, and they kept that coach for that.
And by the way, you have what is California high school football known for? Quarterbacks, right? They churn out these really good quarterbacks, and where do they always go? They go to USC. Okay, well, DJ Oogala Boogala Boogally went to Clemson. He's 6'5", 250.
He's like one of the top recruits in the whole country.
Yeah. And then the kid, Bryce Harper, or whatever his name is.
Bryce Petty Harper.
Yeah, Bryce Petty Harper. He went to Alabama. I mean, that's right out of SC's lair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the one that you so what are we doing over there? Honestly,
it's hard to believe that USC couldn't just send out a bunch of blank form letters and do a better recruiting job than that.
That's unfathomable, really.
Well, here's what look. I had somebody. We talked about this in the 6 o'clock hour, and somebody messaged in this, and it's a good point. He said,
Yes.
I started watching college football with Tim Tebow in 2008.
Okay,
I've become an extreme college football fan. USC to me is Tulsa. They haven't done anything in 10 years, Dan. 15 years. You know, our generation, remember, John Robinson, O.J. Simpson, and Marcus Allen, and USC was a power through the 70s and into the early 80s. But if you're a 20-something right now, USC had been worth a flip since before you started watching football. And that, by the way, is also the demographic of today's recruit. Don't you think today's recruit has more respect for Oregon than USC?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Well, that's why they go to Oregon. So, you better do a good job in franchising and in sports and with the college football program of re-identifying yourself as a power, or it'll go away and won't come back. And so USC has not done a good job of revitalizing itself and positioning itself as a power. They're
Right.
just a team.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
that's amazing.
USC and UCLA right now are about the same team, right? Pretty much. They're the same guys. I mean, that's never been the case. USC's always been far superior to UCLA when it comes to football success.
For sure.
So,
for sure.
Yeah, that was odd. Basketball, speaking of basketball powers, it's not been a good year to be a basketball power. I saw last night when Utah beat Kentucky, Kentucky ranked number 6, by the way, that it was either the 12th or 13th time already this year that an unranked team has beat a top 6 team, and that's a record. It is just play. We sat and we watched those games that first night, Dan, when the top 4 played, and you couldn't help leaving that night but thinking they don't look that good to me.
Right.
Right? It doesn't.
Right.
Usually you got 1 through 4, man. I mean, we got names like Zion and future champions, and it's kind of played out. That seems to have been a pretty good observation. As any and everybody can beat a power. I mean, the list of teams. I mean, Utah at least is a Big 5.
Right.
I mean, it's been teams like.
Well, Kentucky had won 6 in a row since losing to Evansville, right? Did they lose to the Purple Aces?
Yeah, and here's another one, too. Like, I'll give you an example. Did you catch that game over the weekend where the Cincinnati kid had the mind freeze and he threw up the ball from half court with still like 4 seconds to go in the game?
No.
They're playing Colgate, Cincinnati is, and they're a huge favorite. Cincinnati is a top 25 team usually, and Colgate is Ivy League, right?
Right.
So, it's the end of the game. It's a tie game. Or Cincinnati may even be up 1. It's either a tie or up 1.
Right.
No, it's a tie game. Their guy gets the ball, after a rebound and takes 2 dribbles and throws it up from just past half court. Well, there's still like 5 seconds to go. The kid just didn't know what at a brain freeze. Bottom line, Cincinnati at home lost to Colgate in part because of that brain freeze. Well, so what did Cincinnati turn around and do last night?
Who they beat?
Beat Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like a drum.
Yeah.
So that it's just. I guess
somewhere Pete Rozelle is smiling.
Well, I've
achieved parity in college basketball.
Well, we could. What it does say is we could be headed to some kind of tournament. I mean, nobody's going to be safe. Once you get to round 2, you're not safe.
I kind of have the feeling, and you can tell me this. Did we have not to this level, but something like this in last November, December? I kind of think this is a trend, not just a.
Yeah, well, that
fluke.
would surprise me. I don't. I don't remember exactly.
I kind of do feel like we're headed. They're saying, too, I guess Carolina's lost 4 straight for the first time.
They lost again last night. They're 6-5.
Yeah.
Gonzaga's legit. So.
No, but I guess they're saying that the the Anthony kid, he's out 4 to 6, and we'll ask Doc about him. But they're saying he may shut it down because he's a one-and-doner. And so, remember the Vanderbilt kid? How's he doing in the NBA, by the way?
Which one?
The Vanderbilt kid. The point guard. Is he playing?
Yeah, I forgot all about him.
He was like a top 5 pick, wasn't he?
Yeah, what was this guy?
Beef?
Was it Darius something? What was his name? I don't even remember his name.
Great question.
No.
Did he go? Where was he drafted?
I don't know. He's drafted high, though.
Well, that is a great question. He must be hurt.
He's got to be hurt.
He must have torn ACL or something.
Yeah. Again? Or hasn't recovered enough?
Is that what it was? He got hurt during the year? What was his name? Is it Grimes or Rice or what the hell was that guy's name?
He got hurt.
That's Darius Garland.
Darius Garland.
Went to the Cavs.
Cavs. Is he playing?
No.
Good question.
He can't be. No.
So he got hurt like 2 games into Vandy's season as a freshman, and he was done because he was going to be a top pick, and he was a top pick. But I'm wondering how the transition's been. The Anthony kid at Carolina has already proven his mettle. He went out and had a game where he scored a ton of points and shown how good he is. So there's some thought that, well, why play again this year? You're going to get drafted in the top 10 anyway.
Darius Garland is averaging 10.9 points per game for the Cavs.
He's on the Cavs, so nobody knows anything about him. So anyway, but listen, that's how it is in all of sports, right? Kids skipping bowl games. Protect the investment. It's a different world now, and you better embrace it.
Yeah. Well, I do.
Yeah.
Right? Makes it fun.
Yeah.
And if you're a fan of a team like Florida, which is kind of on that outside of the power pyramid, it speaks well for you. You can be one of the teams doing the upsetting rather than one getting upset.
I like it. All right. Beef, announce
Yes, sir.
all the different prizes.
I'm ready.
And then we'll be back in about 20 minutes because that's how long it's going to
Not
take.
true.
And we'll tell you this at 641-1010. If you jump the gun right now and get in as the first caller, you're going to win.
Yeah.
First one. Beef, go.
Caller number 1 right now, 641-1010. Going to take home today's prize pack from the 1010XL Holiday Gift Guide. Features a $50 gift card from Edwin Watts, $25 to Bellwether, and a $30 RC Outlet gift certificate. You can find those and other great gift ideas in the Holiday Gift Guide at 1010XL.com. Doc Kevin Murphy coming up next.